I have my color wheel here along with acrylic paint, and I would like to show you how to mix colors. So it's always very helpful to get one of these pocket-sized color wheels that can guide you along as you mix your colors. And all you pretty much need are the primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. And for later, we will also be using white and black. A palette knife is used for mixing paint, but you can also use it to apply paint onto your canvas to create an artwork. I'm going to put my yellow here, and then it's important that you clean your palette knife, and then my red will go over here and my blue on the opposite side. And then the next step is mixing the primary colors together. So what I'm going to do is take yellow and mix it with red to create orange. And in order to do that, you don't need to take a lot of red. You need a lot of yellow, but just a tiny bit of red. And as you slowly mix it in, you will start getting an idea of how much more you need to add. So your goal is to create a nice medium orange. So here I think it's still a little light, so I will add just a little bit more of red. Because dark colors are very intense, it's helpful just to add them little by little. If you can see here, I already added too much, so what I'm going to do is clean my palette knife and add some more yellow. I work over here. This is a piece of wax paper, and wax paper is really great for mixing paint because of its smooth surface. You kind of have to be patient and build your colors slowly. Okay, so let's say I'm happy with that, and I'm going to put my orange over here. And then my next step will be to create a violet. So I'm going to take red and blue and create violet. And once again here, the blue color is the stronger, more dominant color, so I'm going to just take a little bit of blue. It also depends on what kind of red and what kind of blue you're using, and depending on that, your colors will be slightly different. The reason I'm showing you this is to give you an example that you don't really need to buy every color. All you need are primary 3 colors, and that's basically enough. So this is my violet, and the next step is for me to create green by mixing yellow and blue. You can see it's getting there, but it's still light, so I'm going to keep adding more blue to get a darker green. I think it can get a little darker. And the more you do this, the quicker you'll be able to achieve your colors. And the reason I'm picking up the paint and placing it back down is to really mix the pigment together. Okay, so now you can see that I have accomplished secondary colors. My next step is to create intermediate color. I can combine yellow and orange to create yellow-orange. One thing to remember is that acrylic paint dries out very fast. So sometimes you either have to move fast or you have to remix the colors. So this is yellow-orange. And now I'm going to make the next one, which is yellow-green. So this is my green. I'm going to take some of that and add more yellow to it. You can also create these gradually. So for example, if you want to create yellow-green, but you don't have green, you just have yellow, all you have to do is just play around with the amount of blue that you're adding. And then next, we'll create blue-green. You will see how this color begins looking cooler. This was a warmer green because of the yellow in it. And now with the addition of blue, it's becoming a cool color. My next one will be a combination of blue and violet. If you have an area on your palette that dried, you can add more paint on top. Or you can get a new sheet of wax paper, it's up to you. But if that spot is dry and it had a similar color, it should not affect your mixing. And so finally I'm gonna mix red with violet to get red violet. My violet is pretty warm, depending on the blue and red that you have. It could be a lot cooler. So if yours is different, don't worry about it. Okay, so here's my red violet color. And this is basically a basic example of a color wheel. So keep playing around and see where this gets you. I also want to mention tints, tones, and shades. And these are colors that are achieved by mixing white, black, and gray. Tints take place when you add white to any color. So take a look at how red looks mixed with white. You get a very pastel-like hue. So the black one is called a shade. Just add a smidge of black to it, and you will see how different this red will look with black. By the way, in many painting classes, students are actually not allowed to use black, and they have to create black from mixing different colors. And that's supposed to make their black a lot richer, as opposed to a black color out of a tube. So this is a tint, this is a shade, and I'm going to show you a tone. A tone is created by mixing gray paint with another color. So here's my white with just a little bit of black, which will create gray. Can add a little bit more to make the gray a little darker. And then I'm going to take some red, mix them together. So this will create a tone. And you can see how different these colors look just by mixing a white color to create a tint, a black color to create a shade, and a gray color to create a tone. Complementary colors on the color wheel are colors that are opposite one another and they complement each other. So for example, here I have violet and the complementary color will be yellow. Here I will have red violet and the complementary color will be yellow green. And all of these are listed on your color wheel, so you can refer to them as you continue working. Complementary colors can create a brown color. So for example, you can take yellow color and violet color and mix them together and they will create a brown. This was a red violet. We need to make it a little bluer, and then we'll mix it with yellow and see what happens. You can try any complementary colors to achieve this. And all of these will be slightly different in hue, but they will all appear vibrant and they will be reflective of the complementary colors that you mixed. So here's an example of brown.